They call me Mellow Yellow, quite rightly. I have been watching the boxing, and you might be asking, does he wear matching hat and sofa ambiance when he's at home on his own? And the answer is no. I was sat here with no hat on, and then the dog moved, and when he moved, he knocked the cap onto me. So I thought, I was watching Dave Allen doing this shit, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna keep doing these videos because I believe in the path and myself. And it was really annoying me that Dave Allen doesn't seem to believe in himself. And I feel like he's wasting. I see a lot of myself in Dave Allen, I feel like. And I feel like I want to shake him and just be like, mate, you're not taking it seriously. I genuinely think that Dave Allen could be heavyweight champion of the world. Definitely up there, if not winning it. I think he doesn't believe in himself. And it's frustrating me because I'm almost taking it personally. I'm pretty good at not taking stuff personally now, I feel like. But this, I have, and I think it's because I see myself in him. And, I'm waiting for, there's so many people like myself that would, if I was in his position with obviously I don't know him personally, and I know people that know him, not that many steps away from him actually, I think. But I just feel like, yeah, I've been taking it because if I was in that position, I would just, be completely focused. It's like Conor McGregor does great. Been listening to interviews of him doing political stuff, and he said, "Are you right or are you left? They're calling you far right and all this." And he's saying, "Mate, I'm centered. I ground myself every morning." He does like barefoot in the ground every morning. He does the visualization. Like he knows about law of attraction and manifesting and believing in yourself. And like there are people that talk about that stuff that are like, yeah, I do it, and they're mega successful, like Jim Carrey as well. I think Jim Carrey went way into it because you can lose yourself in it. Because this is, it's a lot. But yeah, on the boxing thing with Dave Allen, it's like, mate, I wish I was his dad in a weird way. I just work to say to him like, mate, like, come on, let's knuckle down, give it a proper go. Because the thing is in life, if you've got an opportunity and you don't try your hardest, that's where regret comes from. Regret doesn't come from losing the fight. Regret doesn't come from not getting to the top. The regret comes from knowing that you didn't try your hardest. And, that's the bit that's the get that's gonna get you in future. And that shit will linger. I felt that a lot with my rugby stuff. I know what's possible. I've caught the ball from kickoff and scored more than once. Well, once in a proper game. Well, I caught the ball from kickoff and scored. I didn't, because I'm not a huge rugby fan. I don't know if anyone's ever done. Everyone ever does that. Literally, I just caught the ball from kickoff, just fucking done, boom, and I was just like, nah. But that's because I never had self belief. I never took anything seriously, and probably it was a coping strategy for thinking that I would fail anyway. So what's the point in trying? But I don't feel like that now. But now I've not got as much of a. It feels like I don't have as much of an opportunity. So that when I'm watching Dave Allen, then it's like, mate, you're in a really privileged position, and you're just laughing and joking about, and it's like, mate, you don't understand It's sad. I think because I'm personally triggered, it's something underneath that is because I see myself and I feel sad for him, sad for myself. And yeah, the good thing is something that perhaps this is where the difference comes from. Dave Allen doesn't seem to think of himself as terribly athletically gifted, and that's not something that I struggle with. I was hurdles champion, 100, 200, relay, long jump, triple jump. I like district champion, competed nationally in sprinting. But like, came second in England in private schools, actually. I've got my certificate somewhere. On the wall, actually. Pride and Place, above my picture of me and Ronaldo. But I do believe that I'm Ronaldo level good. And I do believe that there is a possibility, a very large possibility, my path, in fact, that's going to lead to being able to showcase the things that I was born with that are not me, it's God through me. Like everyone else, it's just spirit. And that's why when fighters win, or people, fighters easy because there's an interview after, they always say, thanks to my Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. And the thing with that is, as it seems to me, it's because actually you know that, ideologically, you're not, we think in terms of labels, like there's a TV, there's a dog, there's a floor, but these things are just constructs. So an easier way of explaining it is, just because you've been given a label of a name, just because you put a name on something, a label on something, a name to it, that is a book, that is a TV, doesn't actually mean that it is. And that'll take some thinking about. Ideologically label driven, and I lost my trail of thought. Oh yeah, I lost my trail of thought. Right. I'm not actually Adam. That's not actually a dog. It's a construct. It's a label. It's spirit. It's the universe. It's God through the same thing. We're all the same thing. We're all connected. The best way of thinking about it, Bob Marley used to call it one love, is that the universe is like a snow globe. And this will make my previous point more understandable. I'm going to yawn. I always yawn doing these. I think it's a spiritual thing, that as well. I don't know the significance of it, but the universe or God or all of this is like a snow globe. I'm the snowman. Oh, hands on my pants. Think you see that? Biggie is the Christmas tree. Oh God, I can't post this now, can I? Don't report me. It's comfortable as a bloke, sit with your hands on your pants. Anyway, I'm the Christmas tree. I'm Santa. I'm Santa. Biggie's the Christmas tree. The TV is the reindeer, right? And connecting it within a snow globe, everything's connected by the water. So actually, that connected ball of things where everything's touching the water is touching this little bits of snow. It's touching the Santa, it's touching the Christmas tree, which means it's all connected. Everything within a snow globe is connected, isn't it? Because of the water So because of the water touching one snowflake, it's also touching another snowflake, it's also touching a tree. So everything within that snow globe is touching. The universe, it seems to me, is like that. And we, the people, are all connected, and the water would be the oxygen in the air around us. And it seems that we're made up of frequency and vibrations, which can be manipulated in a positive sense. And then when you're vibrating at a certain level, you then attract things of that certain level. So if you're vibrating on a low frequency, you attract low frequency things. And if you're vibrating on a high, you attract high. There are things that we can do in our space that will manipulate the energy around us, whether that be the music that you listen to, the films that you listen to, the films that you watch, the activities that you engage in. Your diet is not just the food that you eat, and foods as well are going to change it. Crystal work, meditation, grounding. Music for me is a very, very big one. Reggae music, roots reggae music, Reiki healing music that literally is designed, what they call solfeggio, I don't know how to say it, tones. Oh, it's literally frequency, because sounds have shapes. So if you Google or YouTube the shapes of sounds, you'll see a metal plate, and they put sand on the metal plate, and they play music through the metal plate, and the sand moves into a shape. Right, I think this is where our generation, our civilization, this go around is missing something, because when you play that shape, when you play that sound, it creates a shape, and that is the shape of the frequency, the shape of the sound. That somehow ties in with the law of attraction stuff of vibrating at a certain frequency to bring similar in. There seems to be, our human computer has 5 senses, right? You've got your smell, you've got your sight, you've got whatever. We've got 5 senses, haven't we? So our human computer has 5 senses to download whatever information is around us. A dog whistle. When you blow a dog whistle, stick with me. When you blow a dog whistle, the dogs can hear it, but you can't. That's because they have a different or slightly enhanced computer program or sense of hearing, sound. But that example proves to me, at least in my mind, that there are things going on in and around us that we as humans are not aware of. So Bluetooth, infrared, Wi-Fi, there are things in the ambience, in the atmosphere, that we can't naturally see. UV light shows up stuff as well, things like that. That is linked. I don't know how entirely. There's something to do with the shapes of sounds, I'm sure. But there are many successful people that discuss this type of thing. Conor McGregor being one of them. And I think people don't like to talk about it outwardly because it has a stigma attached to it. But where's that stigma coming from? Like, if the way I got to this on all this, right, how I got to this point, I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try, because, it all sounds hippie and woo-woo and all that. That's what I thought, at least. I thought crystals. I remember seeing Callum Best doing the crystals thing, and I used to really like Callum Best. I was like, fucking weirdo. Or when someone said they had anxiety, I was like, pussy, what are you talking about? But man, there are different frequencies, there are different feelings, there are different shit, there's different shit going on. And I got to a point and I was just like, do you know what? If this shit is real, why would I not just fucking try? Why would I not just try it? Because in the event that it is, firstly, that's going to get, oh, I'm ambitious. So firstly, it's going to give me an edge. Secondly, like, what have I got to lose? And then thirdly, who cares? We live in a society that's like, people want to look like something because they want to know how it portrays them, and then they get some sort of social standing from it. And it's just like, I saw a girl running today, right? Bear with me, keep with me. There was a girl running today. She was listening to music. She had a music blasting. She was running up and down this car park. And normally I'd be quite judgmental back in the day, and I'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck's she doing?" And look, there is a possibility that that person was doing that to play that music, to be center of attention, to create something more than just the act of the exercise training that she was doing. There's another good example of this. I went to a Red Hot Chili Peppers gig in Barcelona, outdoor in a stadium in summer. It was amazing, right? And I was roasting hot. Me and my mate went down to the mosh pit, or just before we did, it was like peak. We were friends when we were younger. It was like our 13-year-old's fucking year dream, right? And I'm hot, right? So I take my t-shirt off because I don't care if I have my t-shirt off on it. We're in Barcelona, like, it's summer, like, who gives a shit? Like, it's not even who gives a shit. It's just like, I'm hot. We're in Barcelona. It's summer. Like, I haven't spent time in Spain as well a lot. I'm living there and stuff. It's like, whip it off. No one's bothered about stuff like that in Spain. Five and drive. Not endorsed. I remember I took my t-shirt off, and some of my friends that I was with, I could see that I tried to get a picture of my best mate at the time, and I could see he didn't want the picture because he felt like I was taking my top off to be seen, to be taking my top off, to be that guy, when actually I was just hot. So I've lost my train of thought of where I was going with that. I said, bear with me, and I led you down the garden path. But yeah, it's like, there are energies, there are other stuff, oh yeah, I was saying about how I just thought, fuck it. Oh yeah, okay, so this is where I was going. So I don't care. It's not that I don't care, it's not a consideration for me how something's going to make me appear. And I think maybe it's a little bit autistic, or I don't know. I don't do stuff for how it's going to look to other people. I do stuff because I like it, or do stuff because that's what I'm feeling in that moment. So in that situation I was explaining, I was hot, so I took the t-shirt off. I know that you get some lads that pose with the t-shirt off. I used to do it, but now I was kind of, I'm just hot. I don't care. It's not a thing to me to think about how it might be perceived by someone else. So I got to the point where I was in my development where I'm just sort of like, if I feel it, I'm doing it. It's like completely, there's never 1% of anything where I'm not completely genuine. And I can be guarded, and I can be choiceful in oversharing, because I've overshared a lot before in life, and I learnt this, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be completely genuine. So I was just like, this crystal stuff, this meditation stuff. I was having a challenging time, and I thought, if this stuff is gonna help, like, because I used to listen to Bob Marley and smoke weed when I was younger as well, so I've always kind of been open to spirituality without being into it really as such. I've always sort of flitted with Christianity, and without having been christened or whatever. And had a sense of, when the chips are really down, I've prayed, like even when I was a teenager, when I was having challenging things happen, when it was really dark, I would always pray, ask for help, So I just got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to try this stuff, because why not? What have I got to? I think the thing was, what have I got to lose? I already feel like I'm up shit creek without a paddle. Like, if there's a possibility that this might help, then obviously I'm gonna do it. Like there wasn't even like a. I think after I got over that, I was just like trying stuff and seeing how it felt. I'm going with my intuition, and I was doing a lot of therapy at the time as well, like fucking shitloads. Therapy's well good. It's well hard to start with. It's like, no, sorry. Let me take that all back. Therapy is incredibly useful and helpful and challenging, and I couldn't recommend it more highly. You have to want to go to it. You have to want to engage for it to work. And if you are of the mindset where you wish to engage with it, it unlocks possibilities that unresolved intergenerational trauma is blocking. So basically what that means is you've got loads of shit passed down to you from your parents, and their parents passed it to them, and their parents passed it to them, going back a long time. A long time, you see. And it falls on your shoulders, and it's up to you whether you want to break it or kick the can. And you can kick the can. People kick the can till the day that they die. But I think that extreme levels of hate's a strong word, but I blamed myself for some challenging situations. I felt blamed for some incredibly challenging situations, and I took it upon myself. That was my fault. But I think actually in turn it sort of created this sort of self-development sort of compost in my mind, a sort of fertilized compost where there were these tools that weren't unlocked, and there were these things holding them back, and there was a deep sense of I'm not a bad person. I never thought that, but like I'm to blame. And I felt it so deeply. I was like, I need to go find answers. I need to make this stop. And then, because I've always believed in myself and my tools, and I've known that I'm meant for something more. And I've realized that my self-sabotage, my drinking, smoking, partying, staying up for days, stuff like that, the extent of the self-sabotage is equal or greater to the extent of the pain. And that hit me a lot today. I realised the extent of my binge eating, the extent of the partying, the extent of the self-sabotage is equal or greater than the pain itself. And it's kept me alive. The escapism, the self-sabotage, it's actually kept me alive. So if you're going through shit, or you've not been looking after yourself, or you found yourself blaming yourself, or like not where you want to be in life, drinking too much, smoking, not, you have maybe you have a sense of I'm not fulfilling myself, not fulfilling kind of, but you don't know where to start. It's just like, don't beat yourself up. Although having said that, all successful people have to beat themselves up, because that's what gets your arse off the sofa. There's got to be some sort of motivation, some sort of driver. And if it's not a really high-minded ambition, a really strong goal that you break down, you analyse, and you break into smaller goals, it's got to come from somewhere. So anyway, I just figured, you know what, I'm all in. And I think that's why I get so frustrated looking at Dave Allen, because he's already so many rungs up the ladder where other people would want to be, and where I would like to end up. Yeah, I feel kind of old saying that. I think I'll make a good coach. I know I'll make a good coach. I just got stuff I want to do prior. I guess I'm venting because I'm frustrated with the lack of opportunity. And my story is a lot. So much so that I can't tell people. It's incredibly isolating, actually. People can't even, people can't even bear listening to my story. I went to a therapist and started talking about it, and then she was like, I can't do that. Even like the therapist just can't. It's like, and I'm not complaining. It's made me who I am, and it's gonna, the resilience and the strength, and coupled with feelings of unfulfillment and blaming myself for stuff. I think seeing myself in him, I just wonder how many people are going through life on autopilot because they don't feel like there's a point, or they don't feel like they think they'll fail if they try, maybe. I self-sabotage a lot. I have for years. But I managed to stop the drinking, I managed to stop the smoking, and I managed to go teetotal 5 years. It's 5 years. In August, I've been sober. 5 years without a drop. And I was a machine before that. Brew, I could drink you under the table. There was no stopping me. There was nothing that could stop me. Do you know how insane that is? I could just keep drinking and I would never, how people get paralytic and stuff? Nada. I would just be there. I'd just be going, just keep going. And I was good at it. I used to love beer and a cig go together so well. But there's more to life. And I think I don't want to sound like I'm bigging myself up in any way, because I'm anything from big-headed. So apart from having a big head, so I just think to do sobriety and step away from your life and analyze it and be like, is this going the way that I want to go? Am I holding myself back in any way? And then going into self-exclusion or solitude because of it. I don't know. I do get lonely. I do feel lonely. I'm really, really happy I've got the dogs. But at the same time, I find it liberating. And, to only focus on yourself. But not in a selfish sense, just in don't get me wrong, if I could spend every single minute of every single day with my kid, I would do it. I'd sacrifice anything for him, no question. Yeah, the love that I have for that little fucker is just, I'm getting emotional. And I have to dissociate from the feelings of not being able to be around him. I really have to dissociate, and I know that's not healthy. I was watching, to be fair, I was watching a thing with Chris Eubank Jr. earlier, and he's obviously taken on his nephew, I think it is, as his own kid, basically now. And he was putting the gloves on and stuff, and I just had to normally I would turn it off, and I didn't today, and I think that's a good sign. I sat with it. I wasn't trying to escape the pain, although I did binge eat a lot today. yeah, it's a thing. But to be in a position where, you can break down your goals and build revenue streams and progress ideas and build your own story, build a future for myself, for my child, for my family, well, for the people that are going to come after me, hopefully my legacy. And if there was a possibility that, things like crystals or meditation and stuff would help, then I'm going to do it. And then I started doing it and I ended up getting this felt sense that they were working. Like I would meditation is what started it. And obviously smoking weed when I was younger. And then crystals, I had a felt sense that they work. And I was like, this is fucking well lame. I was like, this is super, super gay. No offense to anyone that's offended by me saying that's gay. But I was like, this is fucking well gay. But I was like, do you know what? I'm at a point in life where no one's coming to help me. What have I got to lose? And I feel like they benefit. I feel it when I hold it. I've got a quartz, raw quartz, quite a big crystal. And I'm holding it. I'm like, ooh, there's a sense of like relief in a way. And, you put it in the sun. You have to wash them. It's crazy. You put them in the sun, you wash them, and you hold it again. It's like, hey. And then in the yoga, I realized that the emotions are held within our bodies. So like if you've got a bad back, there's a possibility a large possibility in my mind that it will be linked to something that you're going through in your personal life, in your head, and your feelings and your emotions, and you can stretch it out. And the reason why I've got to this is when I found out about my abuse, there was obviously a lot of stored shit like emotions. And I did a hip opening exercise, which is supposed to be like an emotional release. You're supposed to hold some emotions in your hips and like that area. And it's supposed to be linked to your root chakra, which is where you store certain feelings, basically, the red color. And which also resonates to a certain frequency. This is how it all ties in. And I was doing this hip opening thing, and like the most emotion, well, top 5 in my life just flooded out, and I was like, please help. And I was going through it, and I was like, dad, and like I just felt so much. And my dad wasn't there, by the way. It was a cub camp, so I think I just shouted for help when I was shouting for my help off from my dad when I was in it, and they were laughing at me. But anyway, when I opened my hips that day, and just I could feel them tight. My hip flexors super tight. And because I've done the work on the athletic side, I can sort of know what's called what. And yeah, I was like, my hips are tight, my hip flexors are tight. I've obviously gone through this huge ordeal. I'm on my own in this house. All right, I'm gonna go for it, because I'm on the idea that this holistic stuff is working. I feel there's a difference, and I didn't feel that from anti-Ds and all that, and going down the other route, which conversely I am actually doing again now, just because it's so on top. But yeah, I realised that I was on anti-Ds and stuff and all sorts in my 20s, but I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't sleeping right. I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't taking care of my mind. I wasn't taking care of my house. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't believing in myself. Wasn't sleeping right. Wasn't eating right. Was drinking, smoking, doing coke, and it's just like, yeah, obviously you're not, yeah, not in the best headspace. Like, obviously. And the only time where I actually fixed it, I felt like I fixed it all, was when I came off all the meds and I started living a life of wellness and exercise and yoga and meditation and going down this road. That's how I fell into all this. I thought it was super lame before, and I started reading and that as well, and it was just like, this is working, so I don't even care if it's lame. Because what even is lame? It's pretentious people being lame, really. So that's how I got into it. And I'd gone through this incredibly challenging or like thing, and I was like, there were a number of occasions where it was like, this is well too much. I'm tapping out. Like, what's the best way of getting out of it? And I never got to the point of making a plan. I know when they ask you about stuff, it's like, did you get to a plan? I never actually got to a plan. But just like this, I was like, fucking waving with a white flag, please. But you just have to like, yeah. I've stared at myself in the mirror and been like, not today, Satan. And I have to like really like, yeah. The fire inside me comes out, and it's like, okay, Adam's here. But then there are other times where it's just like, oh, bruh. Oh, bruh. I'm so fucking tired, bruh. But, yeah, man, I've made, yeah, suicide videos and stuff, and then I've been talking about it, and I've just been like, about my kid, I've been like, I can't do it to him. And I'm just like, alright, I'm not doing it, and I just turn the video off. I've done like 2 of them. It's like, if you knew the whole story, you'd be completely horrified, but as I say, I'm not here to complain. I'm just trying to share the story that got me to the point of this holistic journey and how I want to leave an imprint on this space, this frequency, this universe, this part of consciousness that I've ended up in, that we are in together. And there are things that help, and I don't have a platform, and I know that there's a lot of good stuff in here and in here, and I don't know, I don't have, I walk dogs and do businesses, and I don't go to clubs, and I don't drink, and I don't have friends really, and I don't go anywhere, and I drive around in a £500 car, like I just complete, like, I don't even mean it in a way like I'm so super focused. It's just like, if something isn't aligned with my goals, it's like, what's the point? Why would I waste time on that? And because I did the hedonism stuff so deeply, I did the partying and that, and I did the Ibiza thing where beautiful people do not so beautiful things, I realised that it's all just a big nothing. Everyone's just unfulfilled. And I wanted more. And then, like, when life happened, that's when I went looking for answers. And I feel like I found them. And I really wish to impart that on other people. And I really hope that I do get the opportunity to do that for my son. And please, God, I know that, we will. And he'll be able to. Because I broke into generational trauma. And this is the thing. Like, I don't mean to sound boastful at all, but we are all given generational trauma, generational behaviors, patterns. That's why lads tend to end up like the dads. Girls tend to end up, it's quite a bad example, but it's, you take on stuff from your environment. It's nature or nurture, isn't it? But the majority of stuff really is nurture, and it's probably energy linked as well and spiritual. Yeah, for reasons why I've explained, before, went through and broke mine, ours, my family's, my lineage or whatever. And I would really love the opportunity to be able to impart that on others, because I feel like it'll help. And that's important to me. And I think, you know, if you get hurt, we all have that choice to be the archetype of the hero or the villain. And the story always starts similarly. I've shared this example before of Spider-Man gets, his granddad dies at the beginning of the film, and the Green Goblin or Scarface, like something, I get a scar on the face, like something's happened. There's always a backstory, and then when shit happens in life, we, the people, the choiceful human entity that you describe yourself as, whatever your name is, you have the opportunity whether you want to decide to play the hero or the villain in your own story. Because your life is your story, your life is your own movie. And you can choose to hurt people, but you can choose if you want to be that person or you want to stop people from being hurt. And I would suggest that I've fallen into the latter, sometimes at my own detriment, which is something that I need to work on, like oversharing. But I'm trying to illustrate with this channel that being genuine and honest is how everything and everyone benefits. So I'm trying, you know, be the change that you want to see. So let's get some reality checks in the book. So I also want to chin Ben Whittaker. He's got a chinnable demeanour. And I don't dislike him. I've noticed that. I probably wouldn't. Lots of people hate him. I don't have hate for him. I don't hate on him. But it's just one of those, it's just unlikable, isn't he? Arrogant. And it wasn't even triggering me that much, but I just had a feeling that I'm going to chin that bloke. He's 6'3" as well. He's light heavyweights, that's 12-7. I can get down to that. I'll whack him. Overhand right. Boing. Headshot. Dead. Leonard would say, "Look at me now!" Sorry, scared the dogs. So, yeah, that's your lot for tonight, but be open-minded. Be open-minded. Why did I say it like that? And being wrong is a very, very exciting opportunity for growth. And if we were all more concerned with growth and ultimate harmony, everybody benefits. Everybody ever. And now I'm getting really tired because it's late. And I've been talking to a camera again on my own for 43 minutes. I think this might be the longest one. No, it's not. If you get this far, would you like the thing? It's just really nice to know that someone might have listened. I'm conscious that they're not, but I don't know how else to break down my goals into I just want to get the message out, and I'm not quite sure how, so this is me trying. I'm fucking knackered. You look tired as well, mate. You look bored of listening to me talk. That's an absolute yes. Oh my God, he's looking at me, giving me side eye. It's an absolute yes. Oh my goodness. Right, should we go to bed then? Right, crates. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. Yeah, man, think about it. Life's exciting when you're open-minded. And being closed-minded is douchey. Unlike that. Goodbye, internet.